What's up, everybody? It's the Gulls Nest here. Of course, I'm out 84, and my trusty sidekick, Adam the Mallet,
Hey everybody.
to the other side of me here. Um, we we updated last week, but we finished last week doing we went over the Hall of Fame and we touched a bit on records in which
Mm,
the Gulls have overall as a team.
yes.
But today, since baseball is fresh and ready to roll in the world, we wanted to go over the league itself and kind of just touch upon some aspects of the NECBL and possibly go through some of the players who've been drafted who played on the Gulls, um, some notable players that played in this league,
Mm,
some records they may have, the teams that are in this league. I think it would
hmm
be good to get an overall idea of the league they play in since, as anything else, you want to know who your competition is and who you're playing amongst.
It's true.
But before that, um, I had a full dose of baseball this weekend. I squeezed in two Sox games down in spring training. I gotta tell you, baseball is alive and well, and everyone's ready to go. Everyone's very excited down there for the baseball season. So it was good seeing some young kids play too. Some minor leaguers were mixed into the roster because they squeezed in a lot of games in the last like 3 nights. The Red Sox they were like they played two split squads.
Mm,
So I went to a split squad game on Saturday night, and they had already played a game that morning. So I didn't see any starters in that team. So it was all minor league players. So exciting to see some young kids playing. Um, I wish I had some time. I would love to dive down and see if any of them actually played in any CBL. I'm sure one or two have
yeah.
on any of the team, but it was 85 degrees. When I
Perfect.
when I
Perfect.
left Boston, it was snowing on Saturday morning.
Mm,
And then when I landed, it was 75 degrees. And then when I took off, it was 85 degrees. And when I landed back in Boston, it was 20 degrees. So
mm.
if I sound like I have a cold, that is probably the reason because my
Yeah.
body, I went from Jurassic 1 to Jurassic 2.
Yeah.
But at one point I was trying to, it's pretty cool. Like the way down there, the stadium set up, they have this area where all the players come out of the locker room. And I was going to wait around. Um, Try to get an autograph, but there was way too many little kids there. And there's a brewery down the street that I choose to pop in before I had like 4 hours to kill before my flight. I'm like, do I drive to the beach just to turn around? I go, nah, it's a waste of time. I go, there's a brewery next door. I go, I could try to pop in there, have a few pops, and then call it a day. So that's what I ended up doing. And now I'm back here in Boston, just to go away again next weekend. So
There you go.
that's how it goes. But
Yeah.
we are. This is kind of like a side note, but we're working on getting some players. I was working on it this weekend to come onto the show to interview players of the
Great.
past, present, and current. I mean,
That'd be great.
I guess current and present are the same thing. Maybe future, maybe future. Maybe we could talk to some future players.
We
Maybe
could
we
talk
could,
to some preschoolers,
yeah,
maybe some working their way up through
a couple high school
but
kids who wanna, are into this stuff. Want to play. Maybe they'll be in the team someday. But so yeah, we wanted to go over any CBL, talk about the league a bit, and kind of talk about the teams they're playing, some history on the league because I think that's important to know about how the team evolved and how it started in the league itself. So we pulled up a couple information on it, and as we're looking at, so the league started actually in 1993,
yeah.
and their
Uh,
slogan is "Keep your eye on the dream," which makes sense when you think about it because these are kids who potentially are playing some extra curricular baseball in addition to their um, college games, and to also help you know sharpen their craft, if you will.
yeah. I actually just noticed something, and I don't know if I'm wondering if a team moved because if you look at the NECBL champions from 94 to 2022, which
Mhm.
is on there, the website, for 97, 98, 99, the Middletown Giants, 3 years in a row, won the championship, and then nothing. They're nowhere. Like
Hmm.
I don't even see them at champions or defeated. Like I don't see them as existing anywhere of making the playoffs. So I'm
Oh, I
like,
see
did this
that.
team move?
So
Like,
it's funny. Middletown is right next door to Newport. It's literally the town over.
okay.
So if you look at the Gulls have been around since 1999. Um, and would you say the Giants when they won?
They were 97, 98, 99.
Interesting. I don't know this. I wonder if the Gulls moved.
They did it. Well, yeah, but the Gulls did move, but I don't know if that would
We
be.
should know. That would be
I know.
something to ask the Mikes when we get on the team
Yeah,
on
who
the
are the
show.
Middletown Giants? Yeah, like
Yeah,
what?
because Middletown is definitely the next town over from Newport. It's like they're literally like these little islands in the little Rhode Island area and stuff like this. And there's a couple teams that kind of don't exist. And in fact, the interesting about the NECBL is that it has at least one team. I think we talked about this last week in every New England state. So six,
Yeah.
and at one point they had a New York team, which made it interesting. And I think they only lasted a season or two. From what I was reading, let's see right here. It said New England states. Um, I thought I had the information here somewhere. But yeah, they had a team in New York that was added on, and I think they didn't last very long. So,
Wow.
but
No, I'm just looking at the NECBL list of the Hall of Fame, and like there's just like a blast from the past, and some players who didn't make the MLB Hall of Fame, but like names like Joe Nathan,
yep,
Mark Malaska, like
some
yeah,
good
like
names, some memorable names, from back in the day.
yeah, they're definitely memorable names for sure. Oh, sorry.
So it was said the NECBL became a 13-team league in 2003 with the addition of teams in Rhode Island, the Ocean State Waves, the Massachusetts Pilgrims, and the New York Saratoga uh, Brigade. It looks like, and that's the team that I think ended up folding the Brigade and the New York team. So now it's strictly they're all just in New England right now of all the states. And we made a point. We said it before. That's a hell of a trek to get from. If you're looking at the map, I mean, the two furthest points look like it's the Mountaineers to the Martha's Vineyard Sharks is probably the biggest different distance you got to travel during a league. But granted, they only play them. I think what one home game, one way game for something out of the division like that. But
Yeah.
can you imagine that trek? You're driving all the way down from like almost Canada, and then on a bus, and you get to the end of Massachusetts, and then you got to jump on a boat, and then you got to take a boat over.
Sucks.
Then you play.
Yeah.
And then you got to get back on the boat, get back on the bus. I mean, that's
Yeah.
gonna be. I'm looking at it right now.
No hotel room for you. No.
It is like it's looks like it's like the same distance from like Boston to Bangor. It's like probably a good 4 hour. It's probably more
Yeah.
than that, right?
It's a grind.
That's
But
crazy. You get to know your friends very well on a bus trip like that long. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Just think what they used to do back in the old days, right? Before like iPads and like music on your phone and stuff. Like in 1993, you're taking a bus and you're going from the Vineyard all the way to Vermont. And what do you have? A Sony Walkman, I guess.
Or even before that, like in the Negro leagues, like the barnstorming days where they would like where it was like 90-degree weather, it's just like getting on a
Oh
bus
yeah,
and
there's
like
no air conditioning. You're
yeah,
just going
yeah.
to town. And I mean, even in '93, I'm sure like the buses probably didn't have the greatest. Remember when we were kids on buses? Those buses weren't very air conditioned.
No, they weren't. No.
You know. And I
No.
bet when the league first started, they weren't on charter buses. They were probably just on glorified school buses. When you think
Mm.
about it, right? You're cracking the window down a little bit. You're trying to catch a breeze while you're going. The thing's barely trucking away at 55 miles per hour on the highway.
Yeah.
You're picking up speed.
But
But
looking at some of these records here, it's interesting how I give the NECBL credit for also posting records that you don't want. Like you don't want most home runs allowed. You know what I mean?
right, right, right.
But good for them. They'll just say, we're to keep track of everything here, Hit batsman 16, you know?
I guess it's a good way of remembering what you did and what not to do again. But oh, so you were talking about the Middletown Giants. I found some information on them right here.
Oh, okay. What do you
Okay,
got?
so they played from 1994 to 2003, and they became the Holyoke Giants
Ah.
after that. And
I don't see them anywhere either.
Holyoke now is they're now the Valley Blue Sox. So they changed the name once they moved to Holyoke.
And they didn't do anything. Oh, okay. 2017. Okay, they have some championships. 20. Okay. Yeah, they came. Yeah, 2017, 2018. They won. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's It's interesting. If you're looking at some of the teams, so they have, let's see, it's relocated or renamed teams. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 relocated or renamed teams.
Wow.
And this reminds me of like early day MLB when teams would like, they would establish teams in like these like small towns or all over the place, and then like, they moved 15 times before they became like the Oakland A's, for example, right? They were Philadelphia Athletics, then they went to Kansas
Yeah.
City, then they went to Oakland, right? Now they're going to Vegas. Or you look at a team like the Orioles are originally the St. Louis Browns, and then they went to Baltimore, and then you get the Yankees were originally in Baltimore, and then they went up to New York and stuff, and like it's kind of cool watching these how these teams. Know what sport actually has the most teams I think that have moved around is actually the NBA. If you track back,
Oh God.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
So if you
Yeah.
look back at like the original NBA teams, and then you kind of go back to like where they started,
Yeah.
one unique team that sticks out for me is the Sacramento Kings. I
Mm.
believe they started out as the Rochester Royals um, up in New York. When then they eventually moved to Saint Cincinnati, played there for for years. Then they moved to Kansas City, played there for a little while, and then they moved to Sacramento. It's like it's pretty. I have a secret fascination with teams that just move around like a child looking for their parents,
Like a fruit cake that nobody wants for the
like a
holiday.
fruitcake, like one, yeah, the one that's been passed around for season after season. I think that I love teams like that because what I love about them is like the way the records go. Like, did they take the records with them? Did they leave the records with them? Like some teams are like really like we leave the records in the city and that's it. And then when the next team comes, you pass the record on to that. Or there's like
Mm,
the franchises that bring the records with them. And it's just
mm.
like I'm always fascinated with teams and geography and their locations and stuff about them. And I always like found it cool when I like learned about teams that like moved to different places and like where they once played, and then finding information like about like where that team played. Like for example, there was a minor league team in Rhode Island, and I don't know if it's in Providence, it's not, but if you GPS the location of where the stadium was, it's just a neighborhood, like a regular neighborhood. Like I pinpoint kind of where home play was, and it's in like some guy's like front lawn, and no one probably ever knows that, and no one you have no clue unless you did the information, did the research on it. It's like I did this thing once. There was a baseball stadium in South Boston that I believe the Braves played for one season while they were rebuilding their other stadium where BU is now because there was a fire. So they were playing in the stadium in South Boston for like 1 or 2 seasons. I did actually, if you go to my baseball vlog, uh ID84 on on YouTube, I did a documentary where I actually went to the site and I tracked down exactly where home play would be. And it's all warehouse buildings. They knocked it down in like the early
Mm.
1900s and they just built these warehouses. And actually one of the buildings in which would be roughly in I believe left field, and I go over it on the on my baseball my channel. It actually was the building in the movie The Departed, where the guy was thrown off when what's his face was thrown off the top of the building, the chief. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, I forget who it was though. It's been a long time since I've watched
Yeah,
The
Michael
Departed.
Michael Douglas. Was it Michael
Oh,
Douglas?
Michael Douglas.
No,
No,
not Michael Douglas. It was who's the one who was married to um
It's Jack Nicholson, DiCaprio, Wahlberg, Damon, Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was the captain. Yeah,
Kevin Martin Sheen gets thrown off the top of the building, and that building would have been left field of the Braves of the stadium where the Braves
mm.
played. And if you go to the ID84, the Baseball Fanatic on YouTube, you can watch that video. It's
Well,
really, really interesting in ballparks. But
talking
oh yeah,
about teams that interest in teams that like were in the middle of nowhere or like that. I can't help but I could be wrong, but looking at the teams that are in the NECBL, I can't help but feel that that's probably the way it is for Keene. Keene, so you ever been to Keene?
yep.
Keene, so, this is like nothing. This is college. I know there's a college there. I've spent 2 nights in Keene once, and there was just nothing. And it's like I know they filmed Jumanji there. I
Oh
can say
really?
that.
The new one or the old one?
The old one.
No, really?
Yeah, yeah.
With
They
Robin
filmed parts of
Williams?
Jumanji. Yep, yeah. Parts
Wow,
of Jumanji were filmed. Yeah.
that's a
But
fun fact.
little tidbit for you.
That's
Um,
titillizing.
but yeah, there's
Yeah,
like nothing there.
I could tell you, I know one team for a fact that's in the middle there, and I only know this because I was supposed to go there last year for a game, and then it was raining out, so we ended up going. It's in the Maynards up in where are they? Sanford, Maine. So I Googled Earth, the stadium, to get an idea where it is and see if there's anything around there so we can go grab lunch before the game and everything.
Yeah.
And it's literally like in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around there. It's
Are
like
they
this
any?
little
I don't see
pocket.
their names. Are they any CPL?
Yeah, they're the where are they?
They don't get any
Sanford
championships.
Sanford Maynards. They were established in 2002.
Okay.
They play at Godell Park, and they're in the
Gotcha.
North Division. In case you're keeping track on this stuff, right here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they are. Okay, yeah, they have a championship in 2005. No, in 2004. Sorry. No, and 2008. Okay. All right, they got a few. Yep.
So
Yep.
when you look at the list of championships, here's I'm going to give you the list right here.
I have it right here on
Obviously,
my computer.
yeah. So the Gulls obviously have the most. They have 7 championships last season with 12 appearances, which is pretty impressive.
Mhm.
That's like Tom Brady type stuff right there.
That is Tom
Just
Brady
keeps
stuff.
showing up, and you don't win them all, but you won. It's what do you think is more impressive? A Joe Montana where you go to 4 and win 4, or Tom Brady where you go to like 10 but you win 7? Is it harder to get to the game, and is that worth more than the win, or is it more impressive to go to less and win? Because in that like you could say a guy like Joe Flacco has one, right? He's only been to one Super Bowl, only won one Super Bowl, right? Is
It's
that
tough. I think the journey is harder than, but oh, that's a tough question though, because like so much can not go your way, whether it's calls or just like people getting injured like along the journey.
Mhm.
So getting there itself, I think, is more a pain in the ass than anything. But still, that doesn't mean it means. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's hard to weigh that actually. It's a good
Yeah.
question. I don't know how to weigh that.
Like, would you
Yeah.
rather win 7 but been to 12? Anything, any championships in baseball, football,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah.
just been the 4 and won 4? So would you rather won more but been there a lot more, or rather just been have a perfect record but didn't be there?
No, I think win more and been a lot more. I had more rings. You know what I mean? I
I
have more
think so.
rings.
I think
You
so.
know?
I think even though your winning percentage would be a lot like lower, obviously it's not 100%.
Yeah,
I think yeah, I think if it's impressive you go every single year.
yeah,
Because look at the guys that don't. Look at like a to compare to like football, like a Kelly. He went 4 years in a row, didn't win anything. But there's a lot of quarterbacks that never went to one.
yeah.
Like, well, I mean, Marino went to one.
He didn't have a ring. He doesn't have a ring though.
Doesn't have
Yeah.
Marino. He lost it. Yeah. So if the guy's like 7 titles in 12 years and 12 appearances.
They get a ring.
But
Like,
look at that. Look at this. But they've been around since what 90? What right here? Since the guy's 99, right? So you figure in that's 19. That's 10, 22, 23 years. So 22. So they've been to half the championships almost
yeah,
that they've been
that's
around.
insane. That's completely
Right.
nutty. It's nuts.
It's crazy statistics right there because it's like that means statistically if you're looking at it as a baseball nerd who loves statistics, it would just say that every other year you're guaranteed to, not guaranteed, but statistically says you should make it to the championship that year,
Yeah, it's true.
which I think is pretty impressive.
It's extremely impressive.
Especially when you go to the next one down, the Keene Swamp Bats went they have 5 titles, but they only been to 7. And they were around since 97. So they've been around even longer. So they
Yeah,
have, so 2 more years on top of them with almost half the appearances that they have, that the
that,
Gulls have.
that's right. They used to be the Rhode Island Gulls because if you look at the 2000, the Keene Swamp Bats beat the Rhode Island Gulls.
There you go. Okay, yes, so that makes
So
sense.
yeah.
And then on the fourth on the list is a
Oh
team that you and I are very familiar with that we went to several games in the past. The North Shore Navigators.
yes, Navigators.
And now see, they're 4 for 4. They're Joe
Hmm.
Montana. They've been the 4-104. So there's a perfect
They're an
comparison
all or
right there.
nothing team right there. Yeah.
All right. So are you rather be the North Shore Navigators or the Newport Gulls? I think I'd
I
rather be
still
the
rather be
Newport Gulls, right?
Navigators.
I'd rather been there
Yeah,
a lot and have more titles than just be undefeated when I get there.
it hurts more, but you got more. I don't care. It all comes down to just having more rings. I feel like when you get to that point, win percentage goes right out the window. Like you have more rings than everybody else.
I think it
So
hurts more too, but I also think it
it's,
it motivates you to come back the next time to kind of kick
yeah, it
some ass, right?
does. Yeah,
Because you can't ever say you didn't know unless you've been there, unless you
it's
actually
true.
been there.
It's
If
true.
that makes any sense at all.
A little bit.
It's
In
like
already logic, it does.
sometimes you're the baseball and sometimes the baseball is you,
Mm.
you know?
Some days you're the bug, some days you're the windshield.
That's right.
That's what
Yeah.
my dad always used to say.
It's actually a good one. I feel like the windshield always wins on that one, though.
Exactly. That's the point, actually. The windshield always wins. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a daddy Mallett logic.
It is. He's got some great quotes, actually. That's one of them.
So after, all right. So then we go down the list and we get the Middleton Giants. We talked about them 3 for 3. They're also 5,000 batting 1,000 in the championship. Then the Vermont Mountaineers, they're 50%. They won 3-1, been to 6. Central Mass Collegians. There's a team right there that I believe defunct. And
So I guess the biggest question here is there a team that has not won one?
yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 that never even hold on, I'll tell you how many. So there's
Jesus.
some that never even been there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Out of those 7, only 2 are active that never been there. And
Okay.
that's the North Adams Steeplecats and the Upper Valley Nighthawks. They've never been. They're like still considerably considered. They are still active in the league. On top of that, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams that aren't active that never made it. Within that too, you have 1, 2, 3 teams that are active that have made it but never won. For example, the New Bedford Bay Sox are the Buffalo Bills of the Necbl. They went 4 times and lost all 4 times.
Oh.
So there you go.
What about the I just want to say the name, the North Adams Steeplecats.
Nice.
I don't know, there's something about that. What's the Steeplecats?
I wonder, um, steeplecats. I don't know. What is a steeplecat? Is it an animal?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like maybe it's because they get steeples there, like church
I,
steeples.
I'm Googling it and I'm coming up short here.
Like I got the gulls. That makes sense. They're in the water. Seagulls,
Yeah.
right? That makes
Yeah, it's the
sense,
only
right?
thing on the list. I can't find an actual, like, what is a steeplecat?
What's a swamp bat?
I mean, I think a swamp bat's a real thing,
Is it like an
right?
animal,
Uh, it,
or is it like a baseball bat that's dropped in the mud? It's a swampy bat.
maybe a swamp bat is not a real thing.
Like I get
Everybody's
the
making up these fictitious creatures.
Like I get the Mountaineers, that makes sense. Vermont has mountains. North Shore Navigators, it's near the water, right? So you navigate to the water. Um, let's see.
According to the internet, it's an alien species.
A steeple cat?
No, an alien, a swamp bat.
It's an alien creature, huh? That's
I don't
interesting.
know. It came up as an alien species wiki.
And then you get like some cool ones like the ocean state waves, right? That's obviously because there's water there.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
I like the Winnipesaukee muskrats. Oh, maybe so. Why is it bold? I don't even think the Winnipesaukee muskrats still
Yeah, I don't
exist.
see that. I'm looking at the 2024 season. That's
Oh, unless
0-0. I don't
they're
see any of that team. It might be defunct.
no, they might have been a team that moves.
Maybe.
Let's see. Winnipesaukee muskrats.
I don't see
I
them.
don't see it either. Oh yeah, it looks like they got defunct in
Yeah.
2022 was their last year.
Okay. I'm on the NECBL website where I look at the 2024 season where it's
So
all zero. Everyone's 0-0.
someone needs to update this list. So that's roughly around the team. So if you're into baseball and you want to travel around New England, come up to New England this year and go see a bunch of games. You have 44, essentially 44 games to play, and they squeeze it in about probably 60 days, right? Because there's a bunch of days off in between. But yeah, so I want to go over I have a list here of some notable players. And well, first, let's see. Yeah, we could do that too. So going through the list, what I did is they on the Wikipedia, they have a list of all professional major league players. I don't know if they necessarily played. I don't think so. I think they just let's see. The formal list of NACBL players who have gone into the major leagues. So I guess they are majors. They have reached major league rosters of
Okay.
all 30 teams. Um, let's see. Okay, yes. Okay, so these are all players that actually made a roster on a major league team. So the earliest one for the Gulls goes back down to 2004. Jason, I don't even pronounce his name. Skrminski. Is that familiar? You're familiar with that one? He played
Uh,
for the San Diego Padres. He was a pitcher.
okay. I'm trying to find. I'm not anywhere you are, but the name sounds familiar,
Yeah.
actually.
Actually, I wish I had. These are active links too, so it's in the last page of the Wikipedia page where it says notable alumni. You can click on there and get statistics. I just don't have it access straight up, but
On the Gulls
um,
website?
no, on the Wikipedia page
Oh, all right.
for the CBL. If you get, it's like the last page 5 starts the list, and so he was in 2004. Then you go down to 2006 from the Colorado Rockies, Chris
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Enanetta Ketcha. I remember that guy. That name
Yeah,
rings
what
a
else
bell.
right now? Wow, this list is pretty big. Yeah.
Was
Okay.
Chris so scroll down to Chris Enanetta. Was he was on the Rockies in '06. Was he on the Rockies in '07 too when they played the Red Sox in the World Series?
What year? What year?
It'd be 2006.
2006. Chris Iannetta. He is. He ended up with the Angels. When was the last year though? Angels, Mariners, Diamondbacks, Yankees. He had Yankees in 2020 was his last
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I
minor
remember
league contract with the Yankees.
that name struck a bell.
Rockies, yeah,
Yeah, Rockies. Yeah, so that's he was drafted. He debuted with the Rockies. Said okay,
2017.
okay, and then we have Mitchell Boggs played for the Gulls, St. Louis
Actually,
Cardinals.
sorry, he came in with the Rockies in 2006, left the Rockies, and then came back in 2017.
Was he on the Rockies in '07? I'm curious. I'm just curious. If he was in that World Series
He
team.
made it to 26. I think in 2007 he was named the starting catcher coming out of spring training,
Oh,
but struggled. So yeah, he ended up losing the series to the Boston Red Sox 4-game sweep. Yeah, he was
wow.
there.
So I seen
Yeah.
this guy. I seen this guy play actually because I was at game 1 of that series. So there you go.
Oh.
I knew that name sounded familiar. And then you go down to 2008. You have Mitchell Boggs, St. Louis Cardinals. I wonder if that's any relation to Wade. Do you think? Maybe. I don't know.
Good old Mitchell Boggs, spelled the same way.
Spelled the same
Picture.
way. 2008 debut of the Cardinals. Pitcher.
Uh, he did sign a minor league contract with the Red Sox 2015, but I can't see any relation.
Hmm.
He's not related. This is the thing here. Boggs is not related to
No,
Wade
I
Boggs.
like when they said that. They usually have the big
Yeah.
disclaimer saying this guy is not related, just in case you're wondering. Um, and then we go up to 2011. We have Adam Wilk. He played for the Gulls, Detroit Tigers, 2011 pitcher.
Yep.
And then 2012, next year, over Jason Bellevue, played for the Cubs. These are a lot of pitchers. They developed another pitcher, Dan Ontario, Newport Gulls, Giants in 2012. And then we go into some position players here, going down the list. We have Greg Garcia, played for the Gulls infielder, St. Louis Cardinals, 2014. Chris Tyler, shortstop, Newport Gulls, 2014. He played for the Mariners.
Mariners.
Chris Dominique, is that how you pronounce it? Looks like that.
Yeah.
Newport Gulls, San Francisco Giants, 2014. So that's a World Series team right there, the 14
Yeah.
Giants. Then we have Pat Light, no related to Matt Light of
Yeah. But
of
me,
the Patriots, but he was Newport Gulls right-handed pitcher, Boston Red Sox, 2016. I knew that. It sounds familiar, doesn't it?
yeah, it sounds familiar. Yes, he selected the Red Sox selected him 37th overall in 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't he opened 2016 in Pawtucket? He was promoted to the Red Sox in April. He gave 6 runs, 2 home runs in July, and then against Anaheim, and then demoted back to Pawtucket, and then he's traded, kind of just a journeyman a little bit from there.
Yep. Yep.
A couple few other teams, but nothing major.
Yeah, the name sounds wicked familiar, as if like I remember hearing the name at some point. 2016 was a weird year for the Sox, if we all
Yeah,
remember. That was like the wasn't it the last year of Farrell?
I
No,
think so.
it was
Was
almost
it?
it. I think 17 was the last year. But didn't he Farrell got sick or something like that in the halfway
Did he
to
get cancer or
yeah.
something?
Yeah, and
No.
he had to take the rest of the season off or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's did no, that might have been is that the Valentine? No, that was 17 was Bobby Valentine because Valentine was only one season, right?
Yes. Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah, and then
Uh,
Corey took over in 18 and they went to the World Series. So yeah, how could we forget? So that was the last season of 16 was the last season of Farrell. He got sick and then I think he took the rest of the I think he kind of stepped down in like September or something like that for the rest of the year.
but yeah, Valentine year was 2011.
Valentine was 2011.
On November 21st, 2000, Bobby met with the Boston Red Sox for a formal
Oh,
interview. Yeah. And then, yeah, under Valentine's management in 2012, Red Sox finished last at 69 and 93, the worst record in 47 years.
oh, so Valentine was between Tito and Farrell.
Yes, that's
I was
right.
thinking it was between Farrell and Cora, but no, I guess I
No,
was wrong.
no, no.
Wow, how time flies and everything is
It really
blurred into
does.
one bliss, you know?
He
But
also
then,
claimed to invent the sandwich. Remember the sub sandwich? The guy was a nut. I kind of miss him though, because at least they were horrible, but at least they were like fun horrible. You know what I mean? Like if
like
you're gonna
it
be
was
bad, go.
it was a dumpster fire full of fireworks.
It really
It's just
was.
blowing up and everything. You never know what you're gonna get next.
Remember when we were at the Hall of Fame, the Ortiz inauguration, and like there was just no mention. Like
Yeah,
the Ortiz, he was scrubbed from Ortiz's like speech. There's nothing.
it's almost like you made a valid point to skip over that year. Not like it didn't exist. Which is funny. My favorite, not to get off subject a little bit, but Valentine moment is the fake mustache and glasses in the dugout
Yeah,
when he
that's
actually got
great.
kicked out of the game when he was for the Mets.
He lost a mayoral election in 2021.
Did he really?
Yeah, his hometown in Stamford, Connecticut. Isn't that sad? In your hometown.
I didn't even know he was running. I wish I knew
I
that.
didn't either. It just says it right here on the Wikipedia page. So maybe it's not correct, but it most likely is.
Did take the Mets to the World Series in 2000 though, even though they got swept by the Yankees, but still something. So then when you go through this list of notable players, it ends at 2017, which makes sense because these kids are in college right now. They're probably in the minor leagues if they got
True.
drafted. So this list, I was wondering, looking at the list, I was like 2017. I couldn't put my head together. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I go because if you're like, a sophomore in college and right, and you're drafted, in 18, and you play in the minor leagues for a few years, it's gonna be a couple of years till you brought up. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. So the list will be updated eventually, probably at the end of the season.
Wait, it actually doesn't make sense to me because there are updates 24 there are updates every year, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. How
Yeah,
come
and it
there's a
stops at 17 though.
yeah, why would it stop at 17? There's still something for every year, I
Well, because
think.
it's a debut of Major League, so like you got to figure like if the kid is playing for the NLCBL, he's probably
Oh, because they haven't, yeah.
yeah, he
So
hasn't
they haven't
probably
made
made
it
it,
to the team.
probably
Yeah.
in the minors right now
Yeah.
somewhere. You know what I mean? Or that's why it's like it's probably like a 5 year, 4 or 5 year, unless you're like an absolute ace, like you're someone coming right out. You know what I mean? But it's just interesting. It's interesting. I think we lost Adam.
There you are.
Oh, there you
I
are.
hear you.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's disappeared. I just seen you in the face. You're just staring into like
Well, you froze up for a minute. I was like, what the hell?
again
I know.
the internet connection errors here. But it's conventionally it's the end of the show anyways. Um and yeah, this is how we will end it.
Oh, we will not be back next week.
No, but there will be a show though because we're both we watching the show, we're about 3 weeks ahead of you. So
That's true.
if there's a disaster or something like that, you may still get the shows even though Adam and I might not be around.
Have perished.
It's like
What do you mean he died? He's died in a plane crash. He's right there.
they keep putting shows on, but
Oh, his
they,
memory
they haven't
lives.
been around. What's going on? So yeah, um we're gonna be doing you should be consistently every week as we're doing every Wednesday at 12 p.m. the show's released. So
Mhm.
subscribe on your YouTube channel so that means you get an
Good.
alert every time you get one.
And
And
comment.
also comment, let us know what you want us to talk about. I read the comments. I know what you guys say about us.
Nothing.
Make that change so we can
Yes,
get someone
change that,
going.
everybody.
Even
Anything.
if it's terrible, it helps the algorithm, as we say all the time on YouTube. It even if you say you guys are terrible,
Yes,
we'll take that in consideration,
it's
and
true.
we'll say, all right, what can we do to fix it?
Yeah, what can we do?
That is, we can use it as constructive criticism, and at the same time, it helps our algorithm.
It's
So
true.
there you go.
Your
But
negativity is a positive.
it's positive to us. I I look at lemons. I see lemonade. So there you go.
Not P. What, to them, it might be P.
Could be it's still yellow, unless it's
Honestly.
pink, and then you get
Yeah.
another problem.
All right, my friend.
Yeah. Anything else you want to add before we call it a night?
No, no, I'm good.
All right. Well, we'll leave you guys there as always. I'm ID84. This is Adam Mallett, and we'll see you guys next week on the Gulls Nest. Later.